And one of the prisoners heard, I guess he heard my teeth chattering. I don't know what he heard. But the lights went on, and the whole tent just jumped, and they were gone. And people were scurrying all around Tent City. And it turns out that all the prisoners, when they get out, they leave behind thermal underwear, they leave behind blankets, they leave behind sheets. They take as little as they can to check out. And then the prisoners, there's other prisoners who are remaining behind, hoard this stuff and hide it. And new prisoners that are coming in, if they end up in a state like I am, is to save our lives.
I got you.
And I would have been dead by sunup if they hadn't have done that. I know it without a doubt. I mean, when I was in the Navy, I was in Iceland. I know what it's like to be cold. I spent a year there. And I have never, I used to do scuba diving in Northern California in 55-degree water. I know what it's like to be cold. I have never been cold like this.
Would you compare that to some form of torture?
Oh, there was no doubt in my mind. Okay. You talk about, human rights violations there are abundant. If people want to look at them, the sloppy food and the pink underwear, that's the least of it.
Right.
The very least of it. It's the deaths. I saw 2 deaths. Well, I shouldn't say saw. I didn't see the person die in front of my eyes. One of them was in a tent, a couple of tents down. I saw the people in there, the guards in there, and I talked to other people in the tent after they took his body away to find out what had happened.
I gets to be kind of old news in Tent City, right? It's like, oh, somebody else died.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That really is. Most of the people, the chain gangs bury the indigent. So unless it happens to be someone who has a lot of money, then the chain gangs who belong to the sheriff just bury the bodies the sheriff's people created.
This is definitely...
And people are afraid to go check on it, because if you go check on it, you may be indicted or at least become under investigation in the media and have your career ruined.
Have your life ruined.
So nobody's going to say anything about it. Now, why am I saying something about it? My life's already ruined. There's nothing else other than shooting me they're going to do to me. They've killed 33 years of a good career. So what's left to do? So I can speak, because for him to come into the media and talk about me is not going to ruin my career.
Very good. Very good.
I've never committed a real crime. I'm not going to commit another one now. But I will speak because I love my country and I love the people in it and I believe in my country.
Right on. Same here. Same here. That's why we're putting this together. We want to get this word out.
Good.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm happy to be part of this.
So I see you've brought a book along with you. You're the author?
I am the author.
Accidental Felons, and They Came for Us by Daniel Horne. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I will. This book is about my experience in the Maricopa County legal system from 2005 through 2008. And about the first 80 pages or so, the book's 360 pages, about the first 80 pages explain how I got involved in the legal system and my trip through to get into Joe Arpaio's world.
All right.
So this is where Andrew Thomas charged me with mandatory minimum sentencing and what my family had gone through in the process and what I did to try and build a defense, never realizing until the last minute what a hopeless idea it really was. And the attorneys knew that, and I had 3 of them. Then the rest of the book is a story of my year in Tent City. And it's a chronology of events and people I met and things that happened there. And I tell a lot of people's stories in the book. What I hope the book does is give people a real clear view of a couple of things. One is just how easy it is to become a felon in this state if you live in Maricopa County. All it takes is a snap of a finger. You don't have to go out and rob a store.
Right.
And the other thing is that what it's really like to be in the Maricopa County Jail. Because I think people believe that pink underwear, at least I did, pink underwear and bad food is the worst of it. Maybe no porno magazines or whatever.
Oh, there's those prisoners whining. Wah.
This is a prisoner of war concentration. It's kind of like a concentration camp. The only difference between this and a third world country prison or concentration camp is they don't take people out of a tent and summarily shoot them up against the fence. Short of that, it's about the same thing. It's about surviving the winters and surviving the summers, and it's fathers and mothers and sons and daughters of people who live in this county. And I think they care about it. I think they need to stop staying in their homes and start talking to their neighbors, because they'll find out that within their inner circle of people they know, someone has run into this, and it's just a stone's throw away from their doorstep.
Absolutely.
So that's what the book is intended to show. Not just, it's not a big diatribe of what happened to me.
But just stating the facts, you know.
Very much stating the facts. This book has become mandatory reading in the English curriculum at Maricopa Community College. It's gotten some rave reviews at Amazon.com. It's also, it almost won an award. It got a 4 out of 5, 5 stars being the best in the Writer's Digest competitions for self-published books.
Done.
For the writing in it. The cover didn't do so well, but the writing did very well. And so I'm quite proud of it as being readable. And most people, once they start reading it, they don't stop, and they have it read in 2 or 3 days. And it's a thick book. It's not an easy read.
380 pages, you said? 360? So once again, we could find this at Amazon?
Amazon.com. You can find it at the book's website, which is accidentalfelons.com, the title of the book.com. Locally, you can find it in Tempe at Changing Hands Bookstore.
Okay. And should you have to look over your shoulder when you're buying it? Should we?
No, if you're not going to write one, you don't have to look over your shoulder. So this book is also, from what I understand, gone viral through the county government, through the state government. I mean, they are reading this book and passing it to friends. People will buy this book, they read it, they'll buy 5 more copies to give to their friends.
Opening their eyes, right?
Because, yes.
Excellent.
People. I had an 83-year-old woman come to me when she got her first copy. I gave it to her because we met at Starbucks, and she said, "You didn't speak badly about my Joe, did you?" And I said, "Well, ma'am, you'll have to make up your own mind about that. I wasn't complimentary of him." And she read the book, and she's since bought about 12, and she just took 2 more copies, and
a
she
complete
comes to the house to
turnaround.
get them.
Like a complete turnaround.
Oh, absolutely. She's a good woman. I mean, she's got good American ideals.
Yeah.
She believed the sound bites on television. And once she read the reality of what goes on.
And you meet the people, actually meet
absolutely.
you. And hear the stories of real people.
And that's why I'll sit in front of groups of students at the community college and talk after they've read the book. I'll go up against the hard questions. You were a criminal. You had a DUI. You did this. You did that.
Okay.
And give good answers, because we all have, this is America. That means we can have any opinion we want to have and have open, good discussion about it.
Right.
And the open, good discussion is the part that's disappeared in our country. So and the students, to me, are the power of any nation. So if that's where I have to go for a message to be heard, then that's where I'll go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, more power to you on that. I appreciate you writing the book, actually, and getting the facts out there, actually firsthand.
Thank you.
Actually, appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. It is a pleasure.
So, that being said, is there anything in final parting that you'd like to say to the viewers?
I'd like to say that I believe in this state that there's a change coming. I'm sensing an opening, and that people are beginning to wake up. This interview is a sign of that. And people are more open now than they were a year ago, and much more open than they were 2 years ago, and I'm heartened by that.
Very good.
If you're one of those people, then see if you can't get your neighbor to open their eyes too.
Very good. And with that, I want to say thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you, and best of luck to all of us.